guys, Alex here with another video. Hope you're well. I know it's been a long time, but I have been cooking 5 meals a day, climbing mountains and surfing down them on my shield and running away from Lionel Blair for the last 170 hours. That is what I've been doing. What a fantastic game, but we're not here to talk about Zelda. You tuned in to see my game room tour, and this week it is my good friend Chris, aka CNP on UK VAC. Top bloke, really nice guy, and he's got a fantastic collection. I have actually already been and seen his collection before, so I'm not seeing it for the first time like I normally do, so it's no surprise, but it is amazing, guys. You've really got to sit through all of this. It's going to be another long one, so strap yourself in. Let's get on the road and go and see Chris CNP. Welcome back. The old naughty but nice section is back. I know you wanted it, guys. I know I wanted it. I haven't had one of these for a long time, actually. I've been a very good boy. But I thought I'd have to share this with you because it is a gorgeous... Look at this. Look at that. It is a double chocolate shoe bun, basically. And I'm going to munch all of that to myself. Don't you wish you were me? Look at this, guys. I'm going to make a total mess of this. Ding dong. Look at that, guys. Look at the chocolate. It's so naughty, honestly. I haven't had anything like this for such a long time. It's so good. You've got flakes of chocolate on there, cream, caramel, God, you name it, it's got it. Oh, blimey. You know you love it, guys. Well, there we go. Another naughty but nice section all over. Until the next time, let's get on the road, guys. Right, here we are, guys. This is Chris's house, aka CNP. Let's give him a knock. Knock him up. How you doing, Chris?
Hello, Alex.
Good to see you, mate. Hasn't been that long, has it?
No.
Good to see you, mate.
Games Day was the last time.
Yeah, it was a good meet. So you're going to show us to the arcade first?
Arcade, yeah. There's one cab on the way to the arcade.
Oh, what, to Revival? Oh, here we go, Space Fever. Now tell us a little bit about this game, mate, because I recognise this one.
Well, I bought it off this dodgy geezer.
Right, dodgy London geezer?
Yeah, called Alex. No, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
Black and white, 1979, and totally restored.
Yeah.
Which is what I wanted. I love the Nintendo cocktails. Was after one for a while, and at the time they just weren't coming up. No one seemed to be selling them.
Yeah.
And then for me, I'm not too handy with all electronics and stuff.
Yeah.
So to get one that was completely
restored,
every last screw, every bit, it's just it's a museum.
I know. I remember polishing each and every one of those screws. It's incredible.
You know, it's like museum quality.
Yeah.
It gets played.
Yeah.
And Just love it, and you know that style in that it's fine to have.
It's like an old, like an old 70s IKEA piece of furniture, isn't it?
I mean, it's
so cool. It fits perfectly here, mate, doesn't it?
We've got wife has a similar taste in furniture and stuff, retro style, and we have that as a table anway.
And she likes it as well.
Yeah, so there's no problem having that in the house.
Yeah. So this is an early Nintendo arcade game, which I think came out in 1979.
Yeah.
And I think later in that same year they brought the colour version out, didn't they?
Yep.
Which you see a lot more of. I think the black and white one is quite rare, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got the blue over it, so it gives it a bit of colour, like Space Invaders used to. And it's got brilliant sounds. I just love the sounds on it as well. When you blow up the
yes. So basically, guys, this is a Space Invaders variant, but you've got different games, haven't you, Chris? Tell us about the different games you've got.
Right, well, they're on here. There's regular Space Invaders, which plays nicely.
Yeah.
This one is 2 lines at a time, they come down, so it's a bit like where Super Breakout, the lines come down. I'm just going to get the sound effect when you kill the space. And then the game A, which is...
this one here.
Yeah.
And they come in from either side.
So
great, isn't it? It's so cool, isn't it?
Good sound effect. Yeah, I think I've only ever once cleared a screen on game A.
It's really hard, isn't it?
The 2 sides.
I think Tony Temple's got a really good score on this, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well,
damn him.
People who have world records at games, you know. I'm not jealous.
He's just too good, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've restored the corners here, had them re-chromed. The feet were polished, and the whole metal casing here I had shot blasted and powder coated to the exact same colour, and it looks brand new, doesn't it, mate?
It's awesome.
The thing is, when you pick these cabinets up, there's so much rust on them, and I don't do rust, and they're only going to get worse, aren't they? So you have to get them shot blasted and powder coated, which will last forever. Let's have a look inside if you can. Have you got the keys?
Yeah, keys. 3 keys on it. I can never remember which are which. See if we can. That's that side. Oh, you have to do.
Oh, both at the same time. Oh, don't worry, mate. Don't worry. It's no big deal.
That's all right. I think you have to get one of the keys off the.
The glass really finishes it off as well. Having new glass on there, doesn't it?
Yeah, no scratches.
Yeah. Beautiful machine.
Cover this one.
So at the time, Space Invaders was absolutely huge, and I guess Nintendo just jumped on the bandwagon at that time, didn't they? And just thought, let's just copy what Taito are doing.
They did, but at least, I mean, having the 3 games, they didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Sound effects, I think, are really nice, and there's a certain, you know, the style of the sprite is also still really nice.
Yeah. A little bit of screen burn on there, I remember that now.
Yeah. I mean, someone could do a modification maybe where it cycles around. This will it stays on, doesn't it, all the time.
But you don't notice it with the tinted perspex here, do you?
No, not when it's playing. You don't have much burn on games, do you? So,
no. It's absolutely immaculate, isn't it? Absolutely immaculate. Really nice, mate. I'm glad it's gone to a good home. Really, really cool.
Sold it, mate.
Yeah. They do come up quite often, actually.
They have been now.
Yeah.
But I've been back in looking for machines maybe for a couple of years, and they just haven't come up.
Yeah.
And I do like it. I mean, some you get ones that are much more elaborate.
Yeah.
And it's quite a simple design.
Yeah.
I think it's. I really like that sort of design.
Yeah, I mean,
Japanese, late 70s, early 80s.
I do miss it. It's just space. I don't have the space.
Sure.
These cocktails take up a big footprint, don't
They
they?
do, yeah. We'll see in the arcades as well. I'm always wondering whether to have one fewer cocktails, and you can get an upright. And actually, it's for the space you need to sit in front of it, and that actually takes up more room.
Yeah.
So,
well, thanks for showing us that, mate. Let's have a butchers in the old arcade.
Yeah. Arcade's 1 year old today. I finished it. I built it with a handyman last year. Let you go first. If there's enough light for you, otherwise put the light on.
Yeah, might need a bit more light.
Nice when it's just lit by the machines.
It is. We can see it all sort of lit up here. But if you don't mind turning the light on so we can see all the the artwork and stuff.
Yeah, Donkey Kong light switch. I think that was
awesome.
£1.50 off eBay. Decal, but
Yeah,
why
that's
not?
cool. Right, so tell us about this first cab.
Right.
Looks like electrical and MIDI,
Electrical
is
and
it?
MIDI.
Yeah.
These are what we played on
Yeah.
when we were kids.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in the arcades where we lived up North Lincolnshire, around Mablethorpe, Skegness. I mean, you'd get Outrun and some of the custom ones, but it was lines of these.
Yeah.
Lines
yeah.
of electricoins. And then they typically have the proper marquee in.
Yeah.
So I love this. Had one of these, was my first arcade machine, not this one, before years and years back, and then got rid of it at some point.
Yeah.
But I'd be happy with a row of these.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Well, I've just picked up an electrical and Goliath.
Oh,
And this is what I remember.
yeah,
It's not the
that's what we
candy
played.
cabs.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like the candy. They don't do anything for me. It's all about the old woodies.
They're new. They're lovely to play on massive screens
Yeah.
and that, but this is what we played on.
Exactly.
That's an arcade machine for me.
Exactly, yeah. I love it, mate. I love these cabinets.
So there's a few of these I've got them for most of the PCBs that I have,
Yeah.
and so I'll change them over.
Oh, okay.
The screen's rotatable as well, but typically that's my horizontal jammer, and when we come onto the Donkey Kong, that's my vertical jammer. So yeah, these are repros mostly.
Yeah.
Punch-Out's original I've had years.
Yeah.
Paperboy I don't own, but I just like.
I love
Paperboy.
Paperboy cabinet.
So that's an original marquee. But yeah, the others just repro ones, but it just makes a difference.
Yeah.
To us, that was a custom cab. You didn't have the side art. You had a marquee. You'd look around. 1942 is one that's missing actually, but they're the game. So I used to.
I love the control panel as well. It's
Yeah,
sweet, isn't
really
it?
nice sticks.
Yeah.
I need to put some four-way switchable actually because it's a pain. And then because it's in okay condition.
Yeah.
Nice price on them. As I say, be happy with 3 of them in a row.
Yeah.
Could have 1 or 2 there even.
Yeah.
And,
So you might get another one.
yeah, I
in
wouldn't
another
mind.
room.
Yeah. I'd need to move her.
They don't come up that often though, do they?
Not so much.
Yeah.
Although
Well,
when I got
quite
this,
desirable.
someone was selling, I think 8 at a time.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I love it, and just change it over. It's a one-man job to rotate them on her. If you're careful.
That's easy enough.
So that's easy enough. And so love those. Got
Cool.
New Zealand story in at the minute.
Yeah. That was the
game
game
I always
for
liked.
10 pence, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that was my suggestion.
Did-
Vic
oh, was
had
it? Oh,
actually
that's
helped me
right,
make
yeah.
them on her, and then I'd been suggesting this for a while. But
Yeah.
it turned out there's different boards. Mine had the wrong dip switch setting, so I was
Oh,
playing it
okay.
on really hard.
Oh, right.
And it's, as everyone found, it's actually harder than you think a
Yeah.
cube game should be.
And a lot of people said it's more of a sort of console game, really, isn't it?
It is,
New Zealand?
yeah, and everyone played it on
Yeah.
the C64 and the Amiga.
Yeah.
But,
That's cool. Right, so what we've got next is a
Next.
Donkey Kong. Is this original cabinet?
it isn't. It's a
It's
scratch
not?
build.
It's a scratch build. You
Scratch
kidding me?
build. Mostly my mate Rob's work. He's on UK VAC. That's Big Rob, I think. We decided we had a curry one lunchtime when we were working near each other. Got talking about arcade machines. He's very handy with woodwork, and by that afternoon, we'd gone and downloaded the plans for building one. Found a printer in London we could walk to, get it printed out on massive sheets, and it went from there.
Wow.
So,
That's
yeah.
quite a task, mate. But they're so hard to get hold of, aren't they?
They are, yeah. A few
Yeah.
people are importing them a bit more now.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, I like my machines to have wear and be a bit battered. But on the
Yeah.
other hand, it's nice having this
Oh,
because they're
definitely.
such nice looking cabs.
Yeah. It's all the artwork, isn't it?
Yeah. So the artwork got repro. We decided not to use anything original. Didn't want to use bits that could go on real
That's
cabs.
good of you, yeah.
So all of this is repro. So this guy who does these.
Because there are a
bits.
lot of people that don't like people that do that use original
And there's no real
artwork,
need to.
marquees, bezels on.
Yeah,
Repro-
on the scratch
reproduction,
build.
yeah.
So unless it's all going to be original, then
Yeah.
there's not much point.
I mean, they are quite common Donkey Kongs, especially in America. I think they made, what, 60,000, 70,000 maybe?
Loads.
Yeah.
You see them in America, they've got lines of
Yeah,
them
and they
out
can
there.
pick them up for sort of
Yeah.
$300, $400, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it cost us probably
So-
12, 1,500 quid
Yeah.
now.
Even the doors are repro one,
Yeah.
with these kind of just blank plates on it. Mate did a really clever jig to be able
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
that,
to
and
the
it's just
speaker.
spot. It's just spot.
Yeah,
It's
it's
such
lovely,
good
mate.
work. It's done amazing.
So you use this as like a jammer cab, really, do you?
Yeah, and it's this not rotatable. Got the best monitor we could.
Yeah.
I think they're like Polo 2s, and just lovely screen in it.
Yeah.
It's fixed vertical, and so that's the
your horizontal.
Yeah, that's mostly in my horizontal game.
Very cool, mate.
But although since Alex, I'm liking Donkey Kong so much, it typically just plays Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I was playing it this morning. I've got a love-hate relationship with the game, I have to admit. Some days I really love it. You just get into the groove, everything works. Other days you get those horrible wild barrels and you just hate it, don't you?
Yeah. Mine's not even the barrel screen too much. It's other screen. I think I can do alright when the screens behave how they're meant to. In, you know, you do the certain pattern on the girders screen, and the flames hang around on the right, then you kill them and they go to the left, and it's all fine. Other times it clearly just wants you dead.
I know. You've really got to clear that level as quickly as you can. Run up and just get out of there.
And you just get a feeling sometimes.
Which is a shame, really, because it's quite a nice level, but you can get really stuck and cornered somewhere on that level and can't find any way out, and the old time's ticking down. Yeah. And then you start panicking, don't you?
Yeah, oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, but it's such a good game. So it's just running off a 60-in-1, but as far as people tell me, it's pretty good. Junior is the one that's not so good on the 60-in-1. Well, it's just the way you go up and down the vines, just doesn't feel right. Okay. But so I've thought about having a go at Donkey Kong Junior and getting to know that game a bit, but
it's my favourite. I prefer it over Donkey Kong. Okay. I still love Donkey Kong. Yeah. They're both two of my favourite games ever, but Junior just a little bit better for me. I don't know why, I just enjoy the game. It's a much more relaxing game.
I do count this can stretch out. So what score did you get this morning?
140,000. Not great, but I managed.
That's good.
I think I knocked, because when I had my last meet, Eric came round and he put his so I had to knock him off, and I've done it this morning. So
I got I think mine's just over 100,000, 104,000 or something. But I was well happy because my aim was by Christmas to have got over 100,000, so I'm happy with that.
Well, that's good.
You know, you can get through. I got past the third.
Because the levels don't get any harder once you get to level 4. That's it. They stay the same. So if you can do that,
with a bit of luck.
Yeah.
And, you know, what a barrel's missing me by.
I just leg it. I don't point press. Just leg it off the screen.
Fair enough. So
you've got some nice little trinkets up here.
Yeah,
a nice little Donkey Kong. Is that? It's not a Game & Watch, is it? It's,
no, that's not the Game & Watch one, but it's one of the Coleco ones. Yeah, they made a load US only.
Yeah, they did a Frogger, didn't they, and a Pac-Man, I think. And these are pretty cool.
There's a few of
little Legos.
They're pretty tricky to make. 3D printed Donkey Kong cab.
Yeah. That's what that is.
Yeah, could do with putting a bit of
cool. And then you've got Sega Power Drift.
Sega Power Drift, but no Power Drift PCB.
Right, so you've got Outrun.
Outrun, which is fine by me.
Yeah.
I would like to get a Power Drift board. They just don't come up for sale, or when they do, they don't come up working.
You prefer that over Outrun, do you? Or?
Not. I always loved Power Drift. When it came to the arcade, we had to sit down. I loved it on the C64 and the Amiga.
Yeah.
I'd like both. If I ever get the board, I'll really miss Outrun. You know, I'll totally miss Outrun, and I'll need to be switching it back to play it.
Yeah.
So maybe an Outrun MIDI at that point might be something I'd want to buy.
Again, highly desirable cabs, man.
Yeah,
I've never really been into the driving games, I have to admit. I mean, they're okay, but I definitely wouldn't own one.
Yeah, well, not too many. I mean, Chase HQ and all those, not that bothered, but there was something about Outrun. My own brothers just loved it on the computer. It was the go-to one in the arcade once it came out, because we've been playing, obviously, since the classics, early 80s. And then you started seeing the new stuff come out, and when Space Harrier and
I remember Space Harrier, I think that's the one I would probably have, Space Harrier. That was so cool.
And so for me, the music on Outrun, the graphics, massive sprites, just, you know, Sega Blue Skies. Although mine, you might have noticed, have gone a bit pink and yellow because there's some weird dig out going out. And the sound effects have broken this week. Don't collect arcade machines.
No, it's a bloody nightmare. You've got some really cool asteroids. Wall, what do you call them? Wall stickers?
Yeah, they just go on the right. From the US, the company did those.
And the score at the top there,
that is my high score.
That is your high score? That's pretty damn good, actually.
It is a tough game.
It is a tough
depends
game.
what ROM set you've got as well, and the one on here.
Oh, right, yeah, I've just noticed you've got, I forgot you had this, the Asteroids cocktail. That's quite rare, dude, isn't it?
Yeah, well, there's quite a few. I think of the Atari cocktails, it's probably the most common.
Yeah.
I think there were quite a lot about. This is, this was the second cab I got. There was a guy at a car boot who had a Phoenix thing just there, and I asked him about it, and it turned out he had a lockup just full of cabs to get rid of.
Really?
And so I didn't have much room for that much, but I asked him, and he said, I've got this Asteroids. So I picked this up off him.
It's a fantastic game. I mean, I've got
ace.
one on loan in my arcade, and it's a cab I want to own myself eventually. You know, it's
a classic game.
It's got so much
simple,
replay.
so simple, but it's just a great high score game.
Yeah, definitely.
So unfortunately, it's playing up a bit. The picture's fading out. So
it's in good condition though, mate, isn't it?
I might show you come up it'll stay on for a bit if I do. The switches on this one. There we go. I had a high score kit, but now this has got a. Might need to do the light off. Online high score kit. So it's actually.
Oh, okay.
It's very weird seeing a 1979 vector game get a DHCP error.
Yeah.
If it tries to connect to the internet, and then so you get a score.
Yeah.
And you've configured the name of your arcade or your house or whatever. And so it then uploads to these global high score tables, says which arcade or.
That's cool. Does that count as a world? Say if you got the world record, would it?
Probably not because you've made a.
Yeah.
Because you've got a
It's an
modification.
alteration. Yeah.
So.
It's
So that went straight through to it. So it does. It will play. I mean, I love the sounds of.
Let's just turn the light on. There we go.
It's shame
It's just the
because.
sounds.
Yeah, I took out all the.
Screen. It's perfect, mate.
It's nice. I actually have picked up a NOS replacement screen as well, but this is.
Do you prefer this over deluxe?
Yeah.
You do.
But I know a lot of people prefer deluxe, but this is just one I played.
Deluxe is harder, isn't it?
Yeah. So. I took all the control of the buttons out, and it's because they were sticking in there. And it's
very cool, mate. Very
plays
cool.
nicely.
Yeah.
Now. But the picture will fade out, so.
Now I'm looking around here, dude, and
you won't know this game, Alex.
oh my God, it's a sheriff. No, I've actually played this, haven't I? Because I came around here a month or so ago. Now this is an extremely rare cab. Tell us about it, Chris.
Well, it's very rare because we don't know that much about it. The best guesses at it, so is that it's possibly a prototype of Western Gun, which Taito released.
Yes.
I can't find any pictures other than a black and white flyer that's actually a mock-up of Western Gun as a cocktail. If you look closely, it's actually just Space Invaders on this flyer.
Yeah. And this turned up on eBay, didn't it?
It turned up on eBay.
There was a bit of a frenzy about it, wasn't there? A lot of people bidding on it.
Yeah, it was. It did. I did have to pay a fair bit for it.
Yeah.
And a few people obviously knew what the game was.
Yeah.
Really unusual to come up. People, word quickly gets around.
So as you know, guys, this is Sheriff, the same game that I'm most fondly of. I've got 3 versions of this game. I love it so much because I remember it as a kid. But I never thought I'd see one in a Taito cocktail. It's really strange, isn't it? Very odd. But it's cool that you got the Japanese.
Yeah, Japanese on there. It says there's control panel. The buttons these are NOS. Nintendo ones because it was missing buttons.
Right.
So I put them in and they fit perfectly.
Yeah.
The thread's exactly the same. They fit. So the sort of theories on it anyway. Bootleg one. There were no markings for Nintendo inside. There were no markings for Taito. See, it's not the sort of game anyone would probably bootleg.
Ollie reckons it's a Taito, doesn't it? It's definitely not a Nintendo board. It's got none of the Nintendo markings that we know of.
So it looks to the expert.
And we know Taito did Western Gun.
Yeah.
So it must be, mustn't it?
It must be, yeah.
Yeah.
But there are odd things. Taito cabs, as far as I can tell, they had 5.
Right.
The grill, so it doesn't, and they would have Taito on the side, and it doesn't have that.
It doesn't match up. It's strange, isn't it?
It is odd. But
then,
still, if someone was trying to do I don't think anyone would bootleg this game because you bootleg something that's really popular. Right?
Yeah.
Is you would just print out these bits and stick them under the glass. So when I took it apart, This is all painted underneath. The whole thing's painted black with these are painted on. It would be just far too much trouble to go to. It's really well made.
Yeah.
So bit by bit, the legs should be chrome.
Yeah.
That's when you lift them up, so I'll get them shot blasted chromed. Yeah. That'll look nice. Get some end feet.
Yeah, well, you got the corner. Well, I got the corners.
You've got the corners chrome. They look really nice to set off. I might have a bit of a touch up of the glass, but to me, I like a bit of
a bit of wear.
Yeah, I don't mind if it's that sort of one.
Yeah, as long as there's no rust and rot, you know, it doesn't, and the artwork's sort of semi-intact. You don't mind, do you? I mean, my Donkey Kong is all original, but I mean, some of the decals and the instruction decals are peeling off and stuff. But I kind of like it.
Yeah. Oh, you know,
it's got a
bash on it.
A bit of life to it. It's got a history with it, you know. Yeah. People have played it.
Yeah. The board on the screen, it says Nintendo. So when you start a game,
comes up with Nintendo.
Yeah, comes up with
strange,
Nintendo.
Very strange cabinet.
I think when you played it, you said it. I wanted you to have a go to see if it
played
plays
exactly the same.
Plays identically. All the sounds are spot on.
And what's your highest score then, mate? Because we have been competing a little bit, haven't we?
Yeah, I started, when I got there, I was putting a few scores on, and then I think...
that got my back up.
Got and I seem to remember Revival and a head-to-head beating you.
So you got a score of, what, about 45, was it? 45,000?
I think, my highest, so between 45
and
and
I
50.
was about 49,000, and I just thought, you're too close to comfort. Yeah. I've got to get my head down and get better at this. So I spent a good week playing mine.
Right, I need to have
and I managed to sort of nearly loop it 3 times, but I did hang around and point press.
Right, which you didn't used to do.
Which I didn't used to.
And
it's very boring.
It is boring. It's boring for anyone to watch. I don't like
very
playing
boring. Yes.
like that if someone's watching.
But it's the only way to do it, to get a good score.
Because when you hit the bonus, it doesn't just give you 2,000 points. It doubles all your points at that point. Your score doubles, and then you get another 8 screens. It doubles again.
Exactly.
So you get in the maximum points on the earliest screens when you can.
Yeah.
So after the first doubling of points, I stop point pressing because I get killed really quickly.
Yeah, after level 3.
But first levels, I just wait. So I get every condor, whatever they call it on this one. It's
So the gangs that go around the outside here, guys, they're worth 30 points, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the gangs that are yellow inside the sandbox here are double, that's 60 points. So, you know, that's your potential, basically.
Yeah.
Doubling your score
you double
3 times.
And hopefully you get, because you get random points for the vulture, that you get lucky with that.
Yeah, that's just random, isn't it?
That's random. Like Space Fever has random. So it can make such a big difference, and then get your score doubled and go on from there. So I've had mine doubled twice, is that way?
Yeah.
And then I die really quickly.
Yeah.
I think what I can't do is survive once I get past the second doubling, which obviously you've got.
Yeah. All I need to do is loop it 3 times now, and I can beat the main Bandido world record. That's what I'm aiming for, and I was literally only 3 levels away from doing it, you know, and that was my aim. I know because we've got
for a week now and
we've got the Sheriff world record. No one else is playing it. It's not difficult, is it? No. But just to have it give it some kudos, which would be to sort of like beat the Bandido.
Yeah, because the next double makes it. What do you do then? Are you over 120,000?
I'd be 70,000, so I'd be 140,000. I would be the world record holder, you know, at Bandido as well, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But I'm hoping there's going to be one at the Southern Fried Gaming event when I unveil the Sky Skipper. I'd love to play one. I've asked around, and hopefully they're going to bring one along, which would be cool.
Be good.
Yeah, I've never played it. I've seen a Bandido.
I've seen some pictures of Bandido. I've never seen pictures of Western Gun before, but they must have.
They must have done, yeah.
Actually, I think I've got.
Anyway, so enough about Sheriff, because we can talk about that all day long, can't we? Oh, right, we've got the manual.
They've got the Bandido one there. I just like how they.
Yeah, look at the artwork.
The writing and artwork. Some of the drawings in the title.
Yeah.
Is quite funny about the warnings.
So this, guys, this is Bandido. This is what the American guys got in the USA. Nintendo licensed it to Exidy, and they renamed it Bandido, but it's exactly the same game as Sheriff, okay? So this is what the Americans guys got.
That's a brilliant instruction manual. I think
So
I'll
that's
send you
your
some pics
operations
out of it.
manual,
They've almost written a story about the game.
Really?
There's so much text, and then.
And this is Western Gun by Taito.
Yeah, Ollie came across that when he found the sheriff manual. So
Yeah.
I've got that one off.
Just look at the artwork, it's so cool. That's very cool, mate. And what you got up here? What's that?
That's not just Dread. That's from Speedball 2.
Oh, Speedball 2, right? Yeah, I used to play that. My brother on the Mega Drive.
Absolutely loved it. Such great artwork. Bitmap Brothers.
Yeah.
And this is Dan Malone. They did a print when they did the Bitmap Brothers book.
Right.
So that's So he did an original artwork and then a certain number of prints. So signed by Dan Malone. I just love it. It's framed. It just looks great.
It does. And you got Manic Miner, one of my favourite games.
That's signed by Matt Smith. Absolutely
really?
love that.
Did you meet him?
No.
Oh, right. Bit of a character now, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. But I've always loved that. I remember seeing the tape case cover every magazine you had the software projects.
I mean, every English kid that had a Sinclair Spectrum had played Manic Miner. It was just one of those games, and I still think it holds up today. It's an excellent platformer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it really plays well.
It is. Yeah, it's awesome.
And then this is Bob Wakelin original piece he did. It's not from a game, but Bob Wakelin did loads of the Imagine Ocean artwork for the games, like Daley Thompson's Decathlon, all those ones. There, he did all that artwork, and so this is one. I think the story was he did three different ones for a game show for them to just have on a stand. And I just love that pen and ink art style. I mean,
definitely
great.
It's very cool. Right, so you're going to show us something really special now, aren't you?
Yeah. Shall we?
Yeah, well, definitely. I've been waiting for this. Okay, let's go. Right, Chris, you're going to show us something extremely special, something that I used to collect for many years, and unfortunately I sold about 10 years ago now. Yeah, what is it, mate? What have you got?
I've got a complete box collection of Nintendo Game
Look at that,
Watches.
guys.
Plus some assorted other bits, but there's all 59 original Game & Watches.
All
available.
59 Game & Watches by Nintendo, which is absolutely incredible. I absolutely love these, mate. I really do. I don't regret, well, I say I don't regret, I do really, but at the time I needed the money.
Yeah.
I got a Donkey Kong arcade machine out of it and I moved on, but I still have this passion and love for them. They're absolutely beautiful things to collect.
I've seen the ones you had, and you had them really nicely boxed.
Yeah.
And the thing is, obviously prices go up.
Yeah.
As with old toys, anything, it's the mint box. They're
That's
the ones,
what
because
everyone
there's the fewest of those, and that's and the price of NOS or really nicely boxed ones is just gone ludicrous.
Gone through the roof.
It is. I couldn't start collecting now. I'd collect them loose, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I have toyed with that idea.
Nice, I'd probably get all loose and the ones that did with CGL on, which was the computer games.
So I'm going to start at the top here, and in actual fact, this is one I used to have. So this is a Donkey Kong pocket size that only came out in North America. It's the same as the original one. Yeah. But it's just the box art is different, isn't it? Yeah. No, do you mind if I take it down?
No, do. And they had amazing box art.
And you've got it in a jewel
more
case.
Ludicrously expensive.
Yeah, I used to own this one in exactly the same box. It's absolutely stunning.
They are. It's such great artwork.
It is. I think what did it for me, because I loved Donkey Kong so much, I think once I got the actual cabinet, things changed because I actually owned the game.
Yeah.
You know, whereas before it was second best, you know.
But anything you could get to get close to it.
Exactly, yeah. And once I obtained the game, then I didn't felt so strongly about letting it go, you know. But so they made 59, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
And there was a special one they
the 60th one, and there are a couple of other variations, but the 60th one, which is it came in a Discman case, which I don't have. It should come in like the Discman Nintendo shape, but this was 60th as a prize for playing F1 race on the NES. Yeah. So there are a few different prizes, and that was one. So that was one you couldn't buy. So some people say there's 60. Yeah. I mean, it is one of the set, but I think, like, for me, it's the 59 that you could buy at retail.
Yeah, so the first one is Ball. I'm trying to look for Ball.
Yeah, they start here.
There's Ball. And then the second one was Flagman. So now, Ball's quite common. Well, I say common. It's more common than Flagman, isn't it?
Really
Flagman is one of the hardest. Yeah. I tried to get that one for ages.
I haven't seen I don't think I've really seen a Western one of it. It's nearly always Japanese.
Really? Yeah.
Ball, you do, yeah. Ball was being their first game, but it was.
Was that just not as popular then, do you think?
think so.
It just didn't make as many. And then what came off that? Was it Vermin?
Yeah, I think
Vermin. So you had the sort of
order,
the silver.
So these are all silver, yeah.
Yeah.
So with Judge, which is
Yeah.
behind there, and Judge, Vermin, and Fire.
Yeah.
That's the green Judge. Down here, they fixed a bug in it and released it in purple. I don't have the box for it, but that's why there's a Judge variation.
Right. Okay.
In two-player game, it was biased to one player. There's a
Oh,
bug to it.
okay.
And then there's
And then
three
you've got the
gold,
gold, which I think I owned all three of those.
Helmet,
Yeah.
Lion, which I really like Lion,
Lion's brilliant. Yeah.
and Manhole.
And the screens are so small, aren't they?
Yeah, so they're one of the quite funny ones with the gold ones. That's Headache, which was released in the UK because I don't know why they thought it'd be so sensitive. Because helmet can be a rude word in the UK, but it's,
yeah, especially with 80s schoolboys.
well, indeed, but it's it's not so much as you think you'd have to rename it for the region,
Well,
would you?
they still do it though, don't they? And then we went on to the widescreen.
Yeah.
Is that
that's
right? So these are the ones I remember, and these were the ones that probably sold the most, really. I think I used to own Octopus, I owned Parachute, I owned Popeye. What else did I own? I think I owned Fire as well.
Tennis was always pretty common, wasn't
Yeah.
it? I think once you start getting to...
Turtle Bridge is fun. And see now, I owned Eggs. Now this is a variation of Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
So it's the same game,
Yep.
but the characters are different, aren't they? So you've got a wolf.
It's exactly the same chip, so the code on the chip is the same. It is identical.
Right.
They didn't have the license to use Mickey Mouse in certain regions.
Oh,
Australia and possibly another country, possibly Japan. So that's why it's incredibly rare.
Oh, okay.
But it's the same game. So if you the scores,
Yeah.
exactly.
So which
the same
makes
as
that
Mickey Mouse.
extremely rare. Now I
Yeah.
bought mine for about 200.
Right.
That
Loose.
was loose. Then I found a box,
Yeah.
put the two together, and then when I got out of the collecting of Game Watches, I sold it for about 400 to a Japanese collector. But that was 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's a long
They
time
just
ago.
don't come up much. And
No,
so
I can imagine it's more over £1,000 now.
it can be, yeah, when they come up. I found the box separate. I had the game
Yeah.
and found it separately.
You've got Climber. These are my favourite ones because they've got fantastic box art, all in colour. Tropical Fish was a favourite of mine. It's hilarious, that game. Absolutely brilliant. So you've got these fish that are jumping out of the goldfish bowl, and you've got to try and catch them, haven't you?
Yep.
And if you miss one, the cat runs out
So.
and he eats it, and you just see these bones get thrown out, don't you? It's really cool. Balloon Fight, awesome. Super Mario Brothers, everyone remembers that.
That's a really good version, actually. It plays very
Yeah.
nice. It's got the levels, it's got the
Yeah.
skips.
Mario Juggler, which
Yeah.
was their last Game & Watch, I believe.
It's a revisit to Ball, which was the first one.
Yeah.
Of course, the box is a bit damaged, but that's
Mate,
very
mine was
expensive
mint.
one.
Mine was
Yeah,
absolutely mint.
that's up with the top 3
Is
or
it?
4 most expensive.
Yeah, I think if I was to get any one of these back, it would be this one because I just love the box art and the game, and the actual Game Watch itself is colourful. It's yellow,
It's
bright
really
yellow.
nice. It plays the same as Ball,
Yeah.
really, but with updated.
Yeah, and then of course we've got Mario Cement Factory, Donkey Kong Jr., which I love. And then we move up here to the panorama screens, which are quite hard to get hold of, I think. I mean, I struggled to get Mickey Mouse and...
Mickey Mouse and Donkey Kong Circus.
Yeah.
Those were 2 of the last 3 I got.
Yeah.
So those 2 and Flagman were the...
And that's just a variation of Ball, isn't it? Pretty much. Is that right?
It's sort of, yeah, it is. You move left and right with the actual character, but yeah, essentially things are falling and you're knocking them back up.
Donkey Kong Jr. is a brilliant one.
Yeah.
They look beautiful, loose, don't they?
They are, yeah.
The panoramas.
Good knit with the sharp, like chrome sides.
No, I had all of these. I had all the Versus systems. I think they're brilliant.
Boxing, I think, is, for me, it's the only Game & Watch that isn't a good game.
Oh, really? I thought, well, but Punch Out, the boxing one's not too bad. And then you've got these are the odd ones, weren't they? The Super Colour,
Super Colour.
Crab and Spitball Sparky.
Yeah, they play quite different than the others
Yeah.
as well. Those are the only ones, no one's made box protectors for those. It's just waiting for someone, all the others are.
And then we've got the multi-screens. I used to like Rain Shower, hard game.
It is really tough, yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of the
Life
hardest.
Boat's good.
And that Mario Brothers is excellent. You can play it 2-player.
Yeah.
I remember at school playing that 2-player because one person does each side.
And then these are quite rare, aren't they? The crystal screens, so you can actually see your hand on the other side.
Yeah, so you
it's
can see
see-through, isn't it?
They look lovely.
Yeah. Which one's the rarest out of the three? Would you say Balloon Fight or?
It's probably. It's not. Super Mario Brothers might be the. Haven't been looking so much lately. It did sort of change around, but the thing is with them, I don't play those ones so much because the games are available in the widescreen.
Yeah.
And then there's all those multi-screens.
All the multi-screens.
That's
awesome, mate. And then you've got the tabletops up there, which are cool. Really nice, all boxed. And then these things I remember, the rubbers. Do you remember these guys? Like, I remember these. So these are Game & Watch, and you just flick them, and the characters move from left and right. Look at that. And Chris has collected a few here. Look at all these different ones. So you've got loads of different types of Game & Watch memorabilia. Cool books. Some nice books there. Excellent, mate. Absolutely amazing. Look at that, guys. You don't often see that. There's not many people in the world that have complete Game & Watch collections, is there?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's a few, but there's I think it's one that costs a lot to get them all. And 4 or 5.
So it's a small mortgage now, isn't it?
It is. Luckily, I started getting them when you could go and find them at car boots.
Yeah.
So I used to go for about 3 or 4 car boots Saturday, Sunday morning, and I would come back with a boot full of stuff to sell or collect.
Yeah.
eBay just started us, in 99, and I sold the stuff I didn't want to buy the games that didn't come up. But I'd get between 1 and 5 Game & Watches every weekend.
That's incredible. Yeah, I remember picking up maybe 4 or 5 over 15 years of doing car boots.
Really? So I started probably 98, 99.
Well, the thing is, they normally most people chuck, because they're so small, they chuck them in toy boxes.
Yeah, I did go through stuff.
You can't be bothered most of the time to go through it all.
Anymore, especially when you're not finding that. But I would be finding them every week.
Yeah.
So I'd sell the duplicates. They were mostly loose. You'd get a few boxed. And so a couple of years ago, I sort of got them out. I'd long since had all 59. Got the, I probably had 30 of them boxed just because I wasn't particularly going for box, but they turned up. And I was like, well, they've been in boxes. I'm either going to get rid of them, sell them on to buy something else, or on having got them out, I got the bug back. And over the next sort of 2 years, finished the boxed collection. The good thing was, if I bought a box one, I had a loose one to sell. To
been winning the deal, which is what I did.
And you have to be patient as well. So I tried to pay not high prices for them as far as you could. Some I'd buy a box one and sell my loose one by taking nice photos and listing it well for more than
I think that's what all collectors do. I mean, I do that with Super Nintendo games. I remember I got Pocky and Rocky 2 for Super Nintendo. I didn't have a manual, but I just hoped to God that one would turn up, and one did, and now I've got a complete, and that's what we do, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's...
Yeah, it's awesome, mate. Well, you've got something else really cool to show us, haven't you? You've got so many nice things.
Yeah, I don't know if you want us to...
So you're really into your Vectrex, aren't you?
Yeah, another one I got, I'd wanted when I was a kid, didn't have a Vectrex. I had a cousin who did, and just saw it in the magazines, always wanted one. Started my first job, put an advert in the local Diamond free ads paper for Vectrex. I actually got a few phone calls, and this one guy in Reading, he just... He said, I've got a full set and a Vectrex from back in the day. He'd owned them from new, and he had every game that came out in the UK, plus the light pen that he imported, and a couple of other games he had imported because he was so into it. And he wanted £100 for the lot.
Wow!
And that was every game. I mean, how many of the UK?
So how many is a complete collection of the original?
Let me count. I'm not counting Big Blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So yeah, there are 18 NB European releases, and then to get a full set, some of these are just US versions of ones that were out in Europe. You need Polar Rescue, Pole Position, Star Castle, which are regular games but US only. Then Animaction and Melody Master are for the light pen.
Right.
They're US only, and
I thought they released more games than that for some reason.
Yeah, no. So it's just those 18, and then these two 3D Crazy Coaster, 3D Narrow Escape, and you got 3D Mindstorm with the 3D Imager.
Right.
Which I only got. This was one of the last things I needed. Got a really nicely boxed 3D Imager.
Just pick out a couple of those games. What are your favourites? Pick out and let's see some of the box art on them.
Well, I think everyone loves Scramble because such a great game anyway, and just a brilliant version.
Yeah.
It's such a good version of Scramble. Difference, yeah. US boxes have more screenshots. That's Berserk. It's
Very
also
nice.
good, but really nicely done.
Yeah.
So
They're lovely
Scramble.
boxes, aren't they? Really, really cool.
Yeah.
And tell us, because you actually designed the game, didn't you? Had it made.
Yep.
Tell us a bit about that.
I used to do some programming anyway. I always wanted to release a game. Me and my brother, when we were kids on the Commodore 64, probably wrote about 50 unfinished games. And so I thought, Vectrex, not that many games out for it. Quite a few people doing some interesting homebrew. So I sort of decided to learn 6809 assembler. My son came up with the idea for the game, what he actually came up with sounded quite like Scuba Dive, which he had never played. He was 6
That's
at
the
the
first thing I
time.
thought of was Scuba Dive, which I absolutely loved, which was on the Sinclair Spectrum. One of the early Sinclair Spectrum games, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's an ace one, just quite gentle. You flick between screens, go off searching for stuff. One of the ideas was you wouldn't shoot in it. You know, it was just could be a game for kids.
Could be a game for Nintendo then. Let's see the box.
And then my brother does graphic design, and that as a living. So we did as close as we could to an original release.
Wow. That's so cool, dude.
I think that's actually
Are these still available to buy? Can people still buy these?
They're not the full original box with everything. Got all the translations done on the back like the original ones. Should we put that there?
Yeah.
This is my copy.
That's
but
your
what we
copy.
did, I think it probably is up there with like the most complete. We didn't reproduction wise. We got the instruction manuals all like nicely printed. It did all the.
That's amazing, mate.
It was pretty
cool.
clever with all this
I
stuff.
played it at a Revival. I really enjoyed it. It's quite a relaxing game.
Actually, the overlays on the Vectrex is in the dining
Is it?
room,
We'll
which
have
we
to have a
didn't
look
see.
at that.
And then, you get repro cart shells, had the labels done.
Yeah.
So.
Very nice. What are all these loose ones on here then? Are these
They're
just homebrew games as well?
The ones in these size cases, a guy who does George, whose Fury games, has been doing them for years and years. So he's got quite a few.
Space Launcher.
Space Launcher is Chris Binosaur, Chris Malcolm. He's done a few games. That's really nice.
Yeah.
There's a Protector.
It's weird
back
how he
there.
picked that game though, isn't it? 'Cause it's quite a rare Nintendo game.
I think Vic asked him to,
did he?
or suggested it would be a good one to do. But Chris really knows his old games as well.
He does, does he? I don't think I've ever met him, you know.
No, he wasn't. He did come to Revival
Did
for the guys from Glasgow came for a couple of
I'll
hours.
have to meet him. Sounds an interesting
last
guy.
time. Robot Arena's one of the latest games. It's
Is it
by
cool?
a guy called Thomas. Robot Arena is so good.
All right,
The
we'll have to
guy's
play
so
that.
clever.
We'll have to play that.
Man, makes mine look like a pretend game.
Yeah.
It's just nuts. It's twin stick.
Yeah.
And then again, all loads more. Because I got it all in probably '99. I just started back then getting the John Donzilla was doing, Chris Salomon and
It's an awesome
Christopher
collection,
Tumba
mate.
were doing.
Really, really cool.
Yeah, they were already doing homebrew.
Yeah.
So I've got rid of a few things over
Is
time.
that Warrior, like the arcade
Yes,
game up there?
yeah. So
You're
George, the
kidding
guy
me.
who did these.
So guys, the reason why I picked this out, because this is a really rare arcade game. It's a vector game, and probably one of the most expensive vector games, arcade games to own.
I've never seen one in the wild.
Never.
ever.
I mean, they're rare in America, and you have to play this. You can't play this in MAME because the overlay tells you where the holes are in the ground, doesn't it?
Yeah. So,
you
this has got that, and the arcade had steps as well. So as you went up steps at the side,
That's
they're not
right,
in this.
but you wouldn't see that in MAME. You have
No.
to have the overlay or the vector machine to see that. So cool.
Yeah.
And how does that play then? Does it play alright?
It plays okay. You can
I
play
don't think the arcade game's that great.
It plays like the arcade game.
Does it?
And so I think it's quite a clunky mechanism for it. But it plays. It's interesting and it's an amazing achievement on here. The graphics are really good. And then what he put in a one player with 5 opponents with different AI. So there's different ways of beating them. So it's nice as a package, and it's another full boxed overlay.
Lovely,
so that's
very envious of that. Right, so now I think you've got another room to show us, haven't you?
Yeah. Do you just want to have a look just there? There's some of the Game & Watch.
Through that. And you've got some nice little robots up here collecting other things as well, toys.
Yeah, random. There's a lot of it. Some's what I had as a kid, and other bits just random.
Is that a tape deck? That one there?
Yeah. It plays music, but you can put the program for it on the tape as well. That's not the one I had as a kid.
You're missing Rob the Robot though. Oh, look at that.
Cool.
A Morph and an Evil Knievel. I used to love Evil Knievel.
Yeah, haven't got the bike or anything. But...
Yeah. And then we move over to here, you've got some more loose Game & Watch.
Yeah, they're the ones, they're out of the boxes. So
yeah.
I think they look nice on display.
They do, they look perfect.
Really.
It's all the colours, isn't it? All the colours of Nintendo. Vibrant.
Yeah. And then that's a Poker multi-screen one, just branded from Japan. I think there's a food company and a couple of blister packs.
Oh, okay.
And then bobblehead Luigi and Mario.
Yeah, they're cool.
I don't know why.
Very nice, mate. So, have you got anything else to show us, or is that it, do you think?
There is a walk-in loft.
All right, well, come on then, let's have a look. Right, so we're going up to the loft now.
One of the things that attracted me to this house was that the loft was a walk-in loft. The whole one was getting crap.
You just had games going on in your head, didn't you?
Yeah.
Where's all my games going to go?
And,
in the loft.
It had lots of shelves, it had a bench.
Every hoarder or collector's got a loft, haven't they?
So,
oh wow, look at this, guys.
Tidy at the minute.
We've got an American SNES set up here, some Sinclair Spectrums.
It's a bit of a test sort of bench.
Loads of boxes of handhelds and leads. Let's have a look in here.
There really are just random.
We've got
random bits.
Invaders from Space, which I used to own. Some Pocketeers. Love those as a kid. Really cool. Do you remember Ian Insky had a complete collection?
Yeah, the motorbike one of those.
Yeah. Then we've got all your console games. So you've got some PS games down here.
Yeah, again, over the years, I had a PlayStation 1, I had a Dreamcast with every game, I had a GameCube. So these are just remnants of a few bits left.
Yeah.
Not
Atari games.
You might not believe I'm not much of a collector, given what's downstairs, but I don't want everything for every system.
No.
Just,
you've got a few DS games, though, because it's one of my favourite systems.
Mostly ones that I did have when I had a DS, actually, a few left of the Dreamcast.
A few Game Boy Advance games, Dreamcast games. And you've got Speedball 2.
Yeah,
that plays pretty well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I love that game. Yeah. I can put it back. There we go. Love this game. Advance Wars.
Yeah.
So cool.
Played that
reminds me of Rebel Star. F-Zero, awesome. Oh, you got Rebel Star. Yeah. Awesome. You have to have Rebel Star. Well, such an awesome game. You
actually bought last revival, that winter one, you actually bought a bunch of games off me, so I had more Game Boy Advance ones as you bought the ones you needed off.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Julian Gollop game.
Yeah. I'd love to meet that guy. We should come to Revival or something. Then we've got some SNES games, American SNES games, Cybernator, Pilot Wings, F-Zero, UN Squadron, Axley, all the best ones.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Famicom Mini Collection, some of them.
Yeah, I think that all of the first batch actually went to Hong Kong about 12, 13 years ago, and they had just come out, so I went and bought them.
And they only come out in Japan, didn't they?
I think so, yeah. So they're just quite nice little boxes.
They are.
A few
I've actually got to do a video on them because I've got quite something to show. And then they've got a lovely Atari 2600 collection, boxed.
Yeah, they're quite cheap to pick up. And the
artwork's
just
the artwork, isn't it?
I love the artwork. And we had our first console was a 2600, so we went
Yours
Atari
Revenge.
2600 to Commodore 64. So for us, it's got the nostalgia as well.
Yeah.
But the artwork, I've got that artwork book. I don't know if
Well, it
you've
was a
seen
piece
it,
of the arcade that you could take home with you and play at home, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Aha, I recognise these. Sinclair calculators,
I
which
swapped
actually...
a Game & Watch with you for that.
You did, didn't you?
And I thought it'd go well with my Commodore one.
So, guys, if you don't know, before the Sinclair Spectrum, he was making calculators. In fact, didn't he make one of the first calculators?
Yeah, some of them are.
Yeah.
I'm not really up on like the
history of
names and
it,
that, but
yeah.
I know like one of the earliest ones.
Well, no, he made the
Sinclair.
first pocket TV, didn't he?
Yep.
And then we've got Simon up there, Pocket Simon, Blockout. What's that, Jungler?
Jungler, yeah, they're nice versions. There's an Amidar as well.
Wow,
There's a
that's
similar
cool.
pop-up screen.
My favourite tabletop, Firefox.
It's so noisy.
It's brilliant.
It's
though.
really good.
I love it.
It is,
Astro
plays really
Wars is
well.
brilliant. Got a nice box Game Boy.
The Microvision there is the first handheld with interchangeable cartridges.
Oh, was it? I didn't
There's
know
a
that.
loose one here as well. Just things I've picked up over the years, but that's what it's
Oh, I didn't know
like.
that.
And then
It looks a bit like Merlin, doesn't it?
yeah,
Same sort of size.
and then I think this is actually you change the games like that, so the games would
That's
have
weird.
a game cartridge and a different depending on the controls.
You take the
and
whole
they're
face
just ta-
plate off.
yeah.
That's crazy.
So
And then we've got Binatone up there. These are really early consoles. Video sport variations of Pong,
yeah,
GameCube, 2 box Vectrexes. There's got to be your main piece, isn't it? The Vectrex. We've got a
Yeah.
lovely,
I've got 4 Vectrexes, 2 of them boxed.
wow, more handhelds, tabletops. Caveman, loved Caveman. Never played Alien Tech, but Caveman was a favourite of mine. Oh look, you got a NES Mini. They've gone crazy, haven't they? The prices for them are stupid.
They were stupid anyway. Then they said they're not making
Yeah.
any more, and it's
You've got Donkey Kong tabletop there. Loads of little mini classics.
yeah, it's a lot of spares sort of stuff. up there
Spare
as well.
stuff. Oh, you've got the Amadar there.
That's got really nice.
And then you stand back, you've got consoles. More Vectrexes here. An Attack over there. A Switch box I can see.
Yeah, that's latest edition.
Yeah, you enjoying the Switch?
I love it. Finished Zelda.
You finished
Got
Zelda?
Mario Kart, although my son's mostly played that, not me. But yeah, it's brilliant. Love it. It works so well as a handheld as well.
Yeah. That's amazing, mate. So where do you see yourself going with your collection now? You quite happy with what you've got, or
Yeah, I don't.
you
I
calm
probably
down a
pick
bit?
Thing is,
Did you go for a phase where you just kept buying and buying? Because I did. I've slowed right down now. I just I'm
bit.
very picky about what I pick up.
maybe most recent was just picking up the arcade cabs.
Mm.
But the other stuff, you know, I started in 98 probably with all the car boot. A lot of this is just remnants of
Car
car
boots.
boots when you used to be able to go and get loads.
Yeah.
eBaying over the years and trading with people.
Yeah.
Like I say, most I get rid of more than I buy. This used to be so overrun.
Yeah.
Because at some point I stopped going to car boots, but I stopped bothering to sell it as well.
Yeah.
And so I just had a loft full of things that I always intended to sort of sell on to buy.
Yeah.
Arcade
Well, what I
machines.
like about your collection, this is really an overspill, isn't it, of
Yeah.
stuff. Your best stuff sort of downstairs, but I mean, it's well organised, it's easy accessible. It's just fantastic, man. You've got a great library of all the different console games and tabletop games. It's just amazing.
With the Game of Watches, there's nowhere really to go. I don't want to go
No,
on size
no.
or anything, so I'm happy with that. Vectrex is
God.
just anything new that comes out.
That Mario's so ugly.
It's crazy eyes, isn't it?
I think I picked it up at some point. I hated it. I just didn't like his eyes.
There's a,
Yeah, it's so cool, mate. So cool. Right. Well, we've seen pretty much everything now, haven't we? Should we go down and play a game before we finish up?
I guess we could, yeah.
We got
Try
it,
and
haven't
find
we?
something.
Yeah,
Maybe
come on
play
then.
things. No Buzz.
No buzz. Wow.
No Buzz Vectrex. It's got a Charles Tweedy.
Well,
D-Buzz
so
kit.
You've had the artwork on this Vectrex. Where the hell did you get that from? It's so cool.
Yeah, a guy called Michel Fiori in
Yeah.
Italy does them. There's a bunch of different ones he's done now. That some people like to keep them plain. I think it just looks really cool.
Yeah, and you've got a Vertvic.
Vertvic stick here.
Yeah.
absolutely awesome, just beautiful.
Well made. You can see it's
well
well
made,
made, can't
machined
you?
out of one piece of
Yeah.
metal. Lovely analog, much better than the originals.
Yeah.
To go with this, my arcade stick that a guy made about 20 years ago, he made about 20 of these.
Wow.
They're absolutely amazing, but they're like hen's teeth. So
a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you've got a spinner as well.
This is an audio tower. This is the latest thing. The same guy did the D-Buzz kit.
Yeah.
It's got headphone out.
Yeah.
A line out, which I've got into these PC speakers, and it does stereo. So what we do, if I put the bonus going on, just for the music to start with, let's just dodge this. That's the internal speaker.
Yeah.
If we put...
Oh, that is brilliant. That is so cool.
That's through those speakers, and then even though it was mono, but that goes into stereo
cool, mate, honestly.
because the AY chip has 3 channels, so it puts them left, right, and one on both. So you've got all these old games now.
Oh, man.
So there's no buzz. I know some people like the buzz, but when I'm programming,
Listen to that.
it just gets annoying. The buzz, I can't concentrate to keep it when I'm programming. And then the sound out is just awesome.
That's awesome, mate, honestly.
That's just the bonus
What game
game.
is this?
That was a little bonus one I did on Big Blue.
So you created that game?
Yeah, so
That's
that was
brilliant.
the little bonus one. This is then the full game. Just put the volume down a bit. So you pick a dive location. You might need to put the is it picking up alright?
Well, it's a light from the outside. I'm getting a reflection on the glass, but you'll have to do it. Yeah, that's better. That's better.
I don't think many people notice, but the island's actually the same shape as an Atari asteroid.
Oh yeah.
So you pick a dive location. The boat is modelled on the one from Jaws.
Yeah.
Another little thing.
It is
So
like
you
scuba
can-
dive, isn't it? So you pick up the air.
Your air gauge at the top's going down,
Yeah.
and then you're looking for a chest, but you need the key first. So the shark will come after you if you get close. You go. I can't remember how to play my own game. It's been a while.
It
You
is
get a
cool
bit
though,
sick of
mate.
it.
Honestly.
And then you find the key, unlock the chest,
Yeah.
and then you get a treasure. There's 8 to find. It gets deeper. There's more different levels. I'm quite lucky with the.
So you can scroll left to right.
You can't know. So
No,
this is up
just
and
vertically
down. My next game will be left and right as well.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of set Wild West, and you'll be going left and right as well. So if we go back,
That's awesome.
unlock, we'll just do one treasure. So
You got it.
got the treasure.
Back to the top. I love the music.
Yeah, a guy Luke's who does his own homebrew wrote the music for
Really?
me. I was so happy when
Really
he sent me
adds
this.
to
I
the
just
atmosphere. Yeah, it's brilliant.
so then there's like 8 different treasures. You've got different levels, and
That's
so
fantastic.
well happy.
Well, thanks for showing us that,
finally
mate.
released
It's
my
absolutely brilliant.
album.
Fantastic. Thank you. Right, thanks very much, Chris, for showing us your collection. Absolutely awesome.
great.
It's been really cool.
I like showing stuff off.
I can see that. Well, not many people have seen a complete Game & Watch collection. It's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah,
You know, but wide range of stuff that you've got there, arcades and tabletops. Do you see yourself going any further and getting any bigger, or is there anything you want to
no
do?
more space. I built this arcade 1 year ago and didn't want to take any more space. Don't want the stuff in the house. So it'll be a case of one in, one out. I'd love a pinball machine.
Really?
Yeah. So
Don't go down that road.
look of non-approval.
Well,
I think one would go nicely here, and there are spaces to put consoles
Yeah,
around.
I don't know. I've decided I am a complete video guy because someone lent a pinball machine and I just didn't get on with it.
I think I'd like to borrow one, actually.
Yeah,
it's a good
I would.
idea and
It's a
see
very good
how,
idea.
you know, because
Or even playing at events, but when you've got it actually in your house, you see how much room they take up and how much you actually play it. I just think, no, vids is my thing.
But yeah, other than maybe a couple of boards, but I'm pretty happy with what I've got. The games, the PCBs I have were, we used to play Commando 1942. I'd love to get Arkanoid and a spinner set up. I've got Track and Field and Hypersports. I'd like a control panel.
Yeah.
That's all the buttons for playing that.
That'd be cool. But any dedicated cabinets you've got an eye on? You'd fancy?
An outrun MIDI. If I got the power jack like I was saying earlier, then that would be quite nice to have.
You've got all your Game & Watch now.
I've got all Game & Watch. There's nothing more to do that. Maybe, you know.
Yeah. Maybe a few more SNES games?
Some, but then I just don't get the time to play. So if I get time to play, it's mostly arcade or a bit of new stuff with the Switch.
Yeah. So how you finding the Switch then? Enjoying it?
Yeah, loving it. Finished Zelda.
Yeah.
Playing Mario Kart.
Are you using it much as a handheld or not?
Yeah.
Oh really?
I was quite surprised how much it's so nice as a handheld actually.
Yeah.
Some mornings just come and grab it and sit and play
somewhere else
as a handheld instead of on the telly.
I think that's where it's won a lot of people over, especially with people with long commutes and stuff.
I think so. I think they'll do a probably handheld only version of it down the road.
Yeah.
Nintendo. We're playing Snipper Clips as well, which is brilliant.
Is it? I haven't played that.
Such good fun.
I've got to get that.
That's brilliant. If you've got 2 players, it's such good fun.
And you go to events, don't you? Do Revival? You take your Vectrexes to Revival.
Take Vectrexes, help get some some games from some of the other developers to show. I showed Big Blue there twice when it was in development and got some brilliant ideas actually. Some of the things that really make it as a game and were ideas that people gave me. Yeah. So I think it's brilliant for that.
It's getting that whole risk reward element right, which makes it competitive.
I think so, yeah.
And gives it a lot of replay value, which is what you need. I think Jim Bagley's developing a game, isn't he? Bomber Jack?
Bomb Jack, he's doing a conversion of that, but because he's been so busy with the next, that's completely been on the back burner for a year. But it looked really promising. I mean, honestly.
Well, it's great to see people still making the homebrew games for the Vectrex. I've got to get one there. Now I've seen your collection, I can get a Vectrex. I've had one in the past, but I don't know, sold it on for probably a SNES game or whatever, but they are cool.
It is, and to be able to release my own game for it as well.
Yeah.
I sold 200 copies, they sold out. I've got a new PCB actually, PCB only version. Yeah. That's painted blue and with a nice logo. Those
You've
are
got a spare one for me,
those ones, there's spare ones of those.
Definitely.
And so I'm going to be at Revival in a couple of weeks. I'm taking a new game, which is a 2-player cowboy shoot 'em up. It's like Outlaw.
Cool. It's not finished yet, but
it's not finished. I'll get some ideas again, but people can play.
There you go, guys. Revival. You'll get to see Chris go and play his Vectrex games. Yeah, awesome. Nice. Chris, thanks very much for showing us everything. Cheers, guys. See you on the next one. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I thought it was absolutely fantastic, especially the old Game & Watch collection. How many times do you get to see a complete in-box Game & Watch collection? Pretty unbelievable. It really is. I've got a lot of love for that stuff. In fact, I used to collect it years ago. Then, if I've told you, I used to have about 46 out of the 60 that they released. But I sold up. I mean, at the time I needed the money, and I got myself a Donkey Kong Jr., which basically got me into the arcade collecting. But I've still got a lot of love for the Game & Watch. They look absolutely stunning on the shelf like that. Really nice guy, I think you agree. I mean, amazing to see the Vectrex, and he's got a lot of passion for that as well. He creates games for it, so look out for him at Revival. His name's Chris. He's developing a new game as well. I won't go into that. Hopefully he might have a little demo for it at Revival. Nice to see his arcade collection as well. That Taito Sheriff is really rare. I mean, it's got Nintendo. It's Sheriff, but it's running on a Taito PCB, which we've never seen before. Really incredible to see that. Asteroids Cocktail as well was great to see. Just an amazing all-round collection. Great taste. It's good to see that. So I hope I did a good job of presenting and getting that across to you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up, and there'll be plenty more to come. And hopefully I won't leave it so long, and I'll get a video up, because I am leaving to the United States soon. I'm going to reveal the unreleased game by Nintendo, of course, Sky Skipper. If you don't know about that, guys, go and check it out on the skyskipperproject.com, the website. You'll see all the details there. We've got a US reveal and a UK reveal coming up very soon. So excited, guys, honestly. But hopefully, I'll get a video out before then, and I'll let you know what I've been up to. Because I've been doing quite a lot, actually. I've had quite a few pickups as well, so it'd be nice to share that with you guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give us the old thumbs up, and there'll be plenty more to come. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.